What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Silver Cinemax. I'm Brady, and I just got back out of seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I went to see that with Austin and Ryan, along with my brother, my girlfriend, and her little brother. Now, everyone's been seeing the Rotten Tomato scores on the website, and everyone's been like, "Oh, should I go see this? And should I go see this?" And so I'm going to give you guys my honest, complete thoughts. I even have notes here to go off of. I'm going to give you my honest, raw thoughts. I saw the movie about an hour and a half ago. Before I go into my thoughts, make sure you guys sub and have noties on to the channel. Me, Austin, and Ryan are all going to have awesome content and videos coming out in the next months and weeks, especially regarding Ant-Man and everything Marvel and everything awesome coming out in 2023. Now, what I want to get started for on this movie is the good. And right off the bat, what I noticed when I came out of this movie was that I completely disagreed with the Rotten Tomatoes score. Now, I understand. I feel like a lot of people go into these movies, especially Marvel movies lately, and feel like they have to be Avengers Endgame movies or Infinity War and have the same stakes as those. And granted, those are expectations you can have with those movies, not with this movie. This is an Ant-Man movie, which we all know that the first two Ant-Mans are a very secluded kind of movie, and I think that going into the third one expecting anything more than that is just not there. Even though Kevin Feige did say it can be an Avengers level movie, I don't think anyone should go in with those kind of expectations. Which leads me to my first good point, in that Hope was actually one of my favorite parts. Now, granted, she wasn't in the movie that much, or as much as I like, but I thought that she was one of the best parts. She wanted to find out the secret of what her mom was hiding. She's super successful now with her research in the PIM particles, helping people in the population get better. And then at the end, she also helped Scott defeat Kang and not kill him, but do something with him and make him smaller and go somewhere else. But like overall, she was awesome in this movie, and I loved it completely. I thought she was so cool, and I thought this was my favorite movie I've seen her in. Another thing that I really, really did like about this movie was MODOK, and this is probably going to be the most dividing thing of this movie is MODOK, who is played by Corey Stoll, who was Darren Cross in the first movie. I liked him because, granted, my original MODOK was the Marvel Ultimate Alliance MODOK, and granted, he didn't look anything like him in the face, but the tech and everything, I think they did as best as they could for MODOK and what they had in this movie. I thought he was awesome. I thought he was funny. I thought he actually seemed like a good threat. He was being thrown around by Kang, which I like that because Kang did help create him. I thought that MODOK was just honestly as best as he could be in this movie. I liked him a lot. His death did kind of surprise me, but I do think he's such a big character that the population that stayed behind after Kang was defeated and Ant-Man and them left, they could bring him back to life because we didn't really see him completely die, just shut his eyes. Another part of this is I did love Cassie and Scott's relationship. It started from the beginning, ever since he helped her out of jail. I thought that their relationship was solid. I loved that they were there doing it for each other. Other than that, I mean, I thought this was a father and daughter movie, and I thought it was very well explained by those two relationships. Another good thing that I thought about this movie was the humor. I thought the humor was just right. It was lower than the other Ant-Man movies, but it was serious enough and had enough humor right to the limit, just how I wanted for a movie that introducing a big bad for Kang like this. I thought it was just a perfect amount of humor. I thought that overall that, I didn't think they could change anything. If anything less, they could just go less humor. But if they stayed right where they are with this humor for any other movie, I thought it was fine. And also, my favorite part of the movie was the ending. So obviously we have the post-credit scenes, but before that, at the end of the movie, when they're all having dinner for Cassie's fake birthday, I thought that what they did for Scott, like going through his same routine as he was at the beginning of the movie, but then having to stop and be like, wait, did Kang actually die? Is he dead? Little does Scott know there's infinite numbers of him, of Kang, and I loved it, how it made it just seem like he was having an anxiety attack, both by himself in public and then at dinner with his family. And I love that because Kang was such a threat that even after he thought he was defeated, he still has this worry, like, wait, is he actually defeated? And I thought the movie did a great way of expressing that. I thought it was awesome. And then lastly, of what I thought was good about the movie were the post-credit scenes. Now, I'm going to go into an awesome deep dive. Me, Austin, and Ryan are all going to give our thoughts and opinions on the movie and the post-credit scenes. But a little summary is I thought they were both awesome. I was not expecting the second one with Loki and Mobius. The first one I could have guessed after a few tries, the Council of Kanes. Hopefully they showed them, I should say. I thought those were awesome. It's very exciting for the future, but also at the same time, I'm curious because they all think that our Kang, the Conqueror that we saw in this movie, is dead, and I don't think he is. So those were the good thoughts that I had for this movie. Now let's go to the bad. Now right off the bat, what I kind of noticed at the beginning of the movie is that I loved Cassie Lane's character. I loved her. But I just thought her dialogue, and a lot, especially hers, but everyone else's dialogue was just very lazy. And I'm saying that because most of her dialogue in the action was her just screaming "Dad" or calling MODOK a dick. And I just for me, I just want more dialogue than that. I think that they can get way more creative than what they did, and I felt like that was the laziest part of the movie was the dialogue. Also, Janet was the first person to see in the movie, and ever since then until maybe halfway or right before the main battle, we didn't know why she was so afraid of Kang. She kept saying, I have a secret to tell you guys. I have a secret. I need to tell you guys something. And she kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And personally, I thought that was annoying. I felt that took away from the movie. They could have done way more. They could have just said it right off the bat, I have something to tell you, and then they tell her. No, she did 3 or 4 times, and it just cut to another scene. And I thought that was also a little lazy, and I think that they're just trying to extend the movie and the scenes that Janet is in by not saying it until the very end when we're all just tell us. I thought that was lazy, and I feel like they could have done better. I love Janet and her character. There wasn't really a character I disliked in the movie. Other than Bill Murray, he was just there and gone. He was there for maybe 5 minutes. He went from point A to point Z, and then he was swallowed up by a octopus thingy in the quantum realm. But I just thought that Janet really was also written in a very weird way where she just kept putting off the reason she was scared, the big threat of Kang. Tell us that earlier, why she's so scared. I think that could have made the movie so much better. And finally, my biggest gripe for the movie is that for a 2-hour movie, there wasn't enough Kang or story to enhance his threat to our heroes and our universe. Now, other than the last 20 or so minutes, we didn't get much of Kang. We just got he's this big bad, he's this big bad, he's this big bad. Everyone's scared of him. And I didn't really feel like they did enough with him per se. I'm saying that because I think this movie, it's about 2 hours long. I think it could have been an extra 20 minutes to go into more of Kang, give him more dialogue, make him more threatening, show him destroying more things, building things, give him more of a backstory of how he got exiled into the quantum realm. I think that would have been way more entertaining and worthwhile to make this movie overall better and more of a threat that we feel for Kang. And along with not getting enough Kang and overall movie time, I also felt, and Marvel's been doing this recently, and I really don't like it, there wasn't much surprises in the movie. I felt like all the big things that happen, from the conversations that have I killed you before, Kang says to Ant-Man, or Kang beating the crap out of Ant-Man, we all saw in the trailer, or Bill Murray, or MODOK. Those could have all been surprises. And I feel like Marvel has been recently, ever since Spider-Man No Way Home, after Spider-Man No Way Home, I mean, they've just been putting too much into their trailers, and I want to be surprised when I see these movies. And yes, I mean, MODOK and Bill Murray could have been a cool surprise, but I don't think you need to include them into the trailer. There's no need for that. And especially with Kang, some of his dialogue would have hit so harder if I knew it wasn't coming in that scene. And that and not getting enough screen time are my two biggest things that really bring this movie down for me. And I mean, I had the drive home, and I thought about it, and it's definitely by far my favorite Ant-Man movie. I would say it'd be this one, and then I'd say the first Ant-Man, and then the second Ant-Man, because the first Ant-Man was just such a fresh, new thing that I enjoyed. And this movie, I will say I am a little disappointed by it, only because I felt like a lot of it was revealed in the trailer, and I wasn't surprised. They could have saved a lot for the movie instead of putting it into the trailer, and that was my biggest thing. So overall, I thought this movie was a solely 8 out of 10 because of its strengths with some of the characters like Scott and Hope and even Janet. And then it brings it down because of the length, but also I love the ending and the post-credit scene. And I'm putting it at an 8 out of 10 as well because I feel like this movie has so much potential to set up other things, and that is what it is. It is a building block. It doesn't really feel like a whole movie. It more feels like an episode for what is to come, a little teaser of what is to come. And I hope that what is to come is a lot better than this, because I think that Marvel can do a lot better than this. This was good, but I think they can do a lot better. And I'm really, really hoping that they do. And I really hope that they take into consideration that they don't put so much into the trailers and they extend the movies into 2 hours and 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Not 3 hours, but just an extra 20 to 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, however long, just to establish the villain and give more of a backstory. I think personally, as a fan, and I can speak for a lot of others, we would really enjoy that. My final rating is 8 out of 10. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you subscribe to the Civil Cinematics and stay tuned for more videos from me, Ryan, and Austin. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.